Hello and welcome to two of my favorite directors, Raj Nidimoru and Krishna DK, right? Who are known as Raj and DK popularly, but I've actually followed their work from Flavors, which was in 2003, much before I think web was even thought of. So, hello and welcome to Tiffin Talks. Thank you so much for joining me. And let me ask you straight away about uh, what compelled two boys from Andhra who met at an engineering institute to go to America, do the whole American dream thing, and then come back and make movies in India.
I'll add a little more. We were even academically pretty top. Like DK was like a state ranker.
Wow, really?
So, so yeah, it was it was a very risky choice, especially because I had finished masters, we were working, so and we were earning pretty good finally, and were paying off our student loans and all kinds of things,
You
and
were
then
in
we have to leave
Silicon Valley or were you in Seattle?
Midwest.
Midwest, mostly Midwest, actually. Yeah, not the East Coast or the West Coast, right in the middle America.
Right. So then, sorry to interrupt. So what happened? Yeah, tell
No,
me.
because we were just two things. We were just, I think the satisfaction, the satisfaction wasn't there for me in the work. I was really struggling, drudging to everyday work, and that maybe that even shows in a lot of our films. That bit of hating the
Especially,
work.
especially this one.
Yeah, like Amal is sitting there working this
Yeah,
drudgery, or
yeah.
even
A lot
Paul.
of our films have a software company that some character or maybe the protagonist is always working in. So you've
Yeah,
seen it in many films of ours now.
Yeah.
we even had a Cooney Monday song in Go Go Gone.
Right.
So it tends to come out. So I was really thinking, is this it? Can I do anything better? And so DK and I were always on the phone trying to figure out the different cities, trying to see if we can do something more. Uh,
And
uh,
there is other thing, right? I mean, we like to say, and like coming from Andhra Pradesh, where we come from,
Right.
everybody's mad about films, including us, of course. And uh, so we like to say that everybody is a filmmaker at heart. That
Right.
even became the tagline of this latest film that we produced. And so it's actually true for ourselves too. Like
Right.
everybody, like at any point, anybody in Andhra Pradesh, or for that matter in Tamil Nadu, in the southern states especially,
Yeah.
watches a film, they are like, that film was okay, but I think we can make a better film than that. Everybody thinks that.
Which
So
cities were you in, DK? Where were you and where was Raj?
we are from this almost the same district.
he's from
I'm
Gujarat.
from a place called Chittor, and he's from a place called Tirupati,
Of
which is in the
course.
same district.
Yeah.
And
And in America?
I was
in
most,
America,
yeah, go
yeah,
on.
he was mostly in Detroit,
Right.
in Michigan, Detroit, in and around. And I was in Minneapolis for a bit, and then I was in Texas,
Okay.
Austin, Texas.
Right. So
So
lovely. I mean, good places to be in. Great life, I'm sure. Everything that you ever wanted, that you were promised back home, and then you suddenly wanted to make flavors. How did flavors happen?
See, flavors was still sometimes we don't know how to categorize it. When people
Yeah.
say that's your first film and things like that, flavors was our I would say our film school,
Right.
because we never got to go to film school nor ever worked on a set. We had in fact never seen a film set till we made our third film, another film set. So
Right.
we knew only our way of doing it.
Right.
So Flavors was our film school where we taught ourselves how to handle everything from the camera to sound to to even just to teach actors how to act, or like figure out acting ourselves and editing. We edited the whole film, another round of it, and so it was. We took 2 years or something to make it while we were working. So it was like a part-time film that was happening,
Right.
and we just learned every bit of it, thinking this is what will make us a strong filmmaker
Right.
going forward. But we didn't expect to become filmmakers
Right.
still.
But
That
it is
or maybe we were hoping to become filmmakers, but you don't know
right.
for sure, right? It all depends on how each one turns out.
Right.
He went back to
Whatever
work.
happened to Anupam Mittal? He was the Shadi.com guy. Now, whatever happened to him?
He's doing awesome. Shadi, he's was featured like the top 25 entrepreneurs in India and all that. So that's his line of work. He was not like that. Movies were not his main
Right,
objective.
right.
But yeah, we're in
Yeah, I
touch
mean,
with
yeah,
him.
we did make flavors together, and our next film, 99, also was
99.
produced by Anupam Mittal and all that.
Right.
And yeah,
Okay. And then, of course, you made Shore in the City, and then Go Goa Gone, which really sort of got you a lot of attention. But that period between Shore in the City and Go Goa Gone, what was it like? Were you planning to move back? Were you planning to stay in America? What was going on in your minds?
see, till about 99, I think we were still hedging our bets,
Right.
saying if saying if this doesn't work out, maybe we can maybe go back and pick up our life where we left it. But time passes, right? Time passes, and after
Right.
a while, it wouldn't have happened anyway. I think the software we were working on would have changed by then, and we wouldn't even know what to do anymore when we go back. So
Right.
I think the safety net we were building at some point fell away, and
Right.
luckily for us, I mean, somehow we managed to continue making films here.
It's
Right.
almost like our filmmaking career didn't take off. We don't officially think our filmmaking career started from till 99, the movie 99. Till then, we were working. We were
Yeah.
still working remotely. We took 4 years to get our film going, more than 4 years, while we were actually working for a company from India. They let us work remotely. So we had no clue if we were going to take off here. So
Okay.
once 99 happened, then the filmmaking, then we had to leave everything behind, and then
Okay.
this was our career. So yeah, the Shore and Go Go Gone together for me was the transformation. Even
Right.
99, but it was discovered a little slower. So these three films, kind of various three different genres,
Yeah.
really gave us, I don't know, really made our career, I guess, when
Right.
looking back at it.
And you moved to Mumbai when? Or are you in Mumbai?
Yeah,
Yes,
of
yes,
course.
yes. We are in Mumbai only. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You can't be remote filmmakers if you're working in Bollywood.
Yeah. No, 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 not at all. Yeah. No, that's what we moved to Mumbai, right? Like he said, right? Sometime before we made 99, which was made in 2008. So around
Right.
2007 or so, we moved. Till
Right.
then, we were working in America, collecting money, so that we knew once we come to Mumbai, if the income stops, we need some money to survive, right? So we
Right.
were actually just purely with the intention of making money, just spinning the clock and working very, very hard in America for a couple of years. Came down here, and it still took us a couple of years to get the film made. And and it's not like you get paid a lot of money on your first film or your
Exactly.
second film or
Yeah.
your third film.
So, so really, did you have families by then? Were they wondering, have you gone mad or what's going on with you guys?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
think
famously
so,
feel
right?
that DK's mom didn't like me for a very long time.
Yeah.
What about yours, Raj?
My parents somehow, I have to give it to my parents that they've been very supportive. They've even as a kid they put me in school where they only teach music and dance. They don't teach normal. It's
Okay.
called actually, yeah. What's surprising is that I went to a school called Kalakshetra.
Oh, wow.
That is in Tamil Nadu, in Chennai.
Tamil Nadu. Yeah, yeah.
Chennai. And that was my first tryst with Chennai. And even though we've been traveling to Chennai before, but I actually lived and studied and worked and learned a
Right,
lot of things there that
right.
shaped a lot. So yeah, this is Family Man season 2 is almost like going back to the roots,
Yeah.
going back to where we came from.
Absolutely. Now let's talk about Family Man because it's so extraordinary, and I think it's very rare for a second season to surpass the first season. But I genuinely believe this is truly an extraordinary season, and I think it's the best work that's come out of India on streaming. How was it to put it together? And you knew this is Tamil Nadu politics. It's like. An area which is full of sort of, all sorts of mines and all sorts of bombs waiting to explode. So really, what drew you to it, and how did you first, of course, how did you come up with this idea of this guy, and second, this season to set it in Tamil Nadu, very very courageous move. Some would say
Once
foolhardy.
we Yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah, season one, family man as a concept, of course, I'm sure we've spoken about this before, right? Is about this character, Shrikant Tiwari, the
Right.
common man. We wanted to make a James Bond, but what would a James Bond be like in India, right? He would still be a government employee, a middle class guy. He'll have the same problems that all of us have. And so that was the genesis of the family man.
Right.
But one other thing we always had in mind, and I'm not saying this in hindsight, even when we were writing the first draft of the first season, was that this would be a pan India show.
Yeah.
And while we create our central character, we wanted to embrace cultures and actors and characters from everywhere, which is why Shrikant Tiwari has a Tamil speaking wife,
Yeah.
Priyamani. And he has this Marathi, Talpade, a
Right.
friend. And so many other characters are from there's Zoya from Delhi, and there's Milind also from the
Lucknow.
north. And we have Pasha from the south and
Right.
a lot of Kashmiris. Uh, so we wanted it to be a pan India show, and not just that. The seasons also we wanted to go to different parts of the country and expand on that part and pick
Yeah.
up subjects that work for the story from each different parts of the country.
Right.
That was the main thought behind that.
But politics is a difficult thing to do in India. Negotiating politics, you can offend just about everybody doing anything. How was it negotiating that? Did you have that
To
at the
be
back of your
to
mind?
be
Go
no, to be totally fair, uh, okay, no, I mean, maybe we were a bit naive about this, a little bit,
on.
to
And
some
even
extent.
one more
Yeah.
thing, but I want to go back to your original point. You said that there are a lot of landmines and bombs that we have to avoid.
Yeah.
What is interesting is for me, DK and Suman, when we wrote the second season, is that we never thought of it like that.
Right.
It's our home ground. So we know the ground in a way, or we come from there. So I never thought we would be it would be a sensitive not like I know I'm not saying sensitive. I because we were coming from it's writing about my hometown in a way,
Right.
like our hometown in a way. So it's coming from a place of where you grown up and it's from or you know about it and you are surrounded with friends who are Tamil. So we know quite a bit about it, and it's coming from a place of a lot of love and a lot of respect, and this would be a great time for us to show the culture right,
Right.
of the caricatures that you otherwise might see or the stereotypes you might see. That's something we were more focused on, not to get it right, to get Tamil people, every character from the police constable to the lady cop to everybody, they are all that. So just we were just excited to show that right. We were just we didn't show a posh like let's just a regular standard shots of Chennai and do that. We were going into the streets and small places the way where we saw. So it was coming from that. Okay, hey, finally we got an opportunity to uh, showcase Tamil Nadu, and that's
Yeah,
what.
just like Shore in the City was a love letter to Mumbai, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
Family Manchester was in a way a love letter to Chennai.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
and there are so many details we snuck in that I'm glad a lot of people are pointing out on social that are all hat tips to so many people. Like for example, I'm just taking this a little longer. For example, the director of Michael Madan Kamaraj,
Right.
the legendary director, he called me and he said, "Oh my God, I can this is when he saw the trailer and he said this looks so good, so good, so good." And I even told him, by the way, we have a hat tip for you. And
Uh,
he said, like how? And so we actually have a little line that we snuck in, we put in the fish market that goes that comes from his film.
okay.
So things like that, or we have an homage to SP Balasubramaniam where we put a song for him, or
Right.
we named our characters, some of the characters off of iconic actors from
This,
TV.
this, if you know this, every Tamilian would know Karthik Prabhu,
Right.
the two
Right.
characters, right? These are all our hat
From
tips to the
Maniratnam
Tamil.
film, from a Maniratnam film. So all that, these are all
Yeah,
things that people are pointing out, saying, "Oh, you got that, you got this," So, or even the songs that are played in the back and all
Right.
these things, they're all just waiting to be put.
Right. Right.
So anyway,
So
yeah.
it's very interesting, DK and Raj. There was this conversation that I was, privy to. I think you'll see it too on social, where someone who's a Tamilian said, oh, all the men are overweight and dumpy, and this other guy told her, but the women are so fit. So so it's not like the the typical Tamilian sort of caricature. So I found that very interesting.
So these are all stereotypes that are generally
Yeah,
propagated, and I think that it's, I don't know. You need to be aware of these. Our Tamil guys in our film are all fit.
yeah.
The two is kick-ass. Even Chellam. Chellam is awesome.
Chellam
Chellam,
is such a smart.
Chellam
Yeah.
is my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, what is it that draws you both to a film or a project, a web series? What is it that draws you? Like when you see something like Stree, or when you see something like Go Goa Gone, there's always a twist. I mean, nothing is straight, right? You have a very twisted
Yeah.
mind,
No.
shall we say?
Good. No, that is good, right?
Of course, it's a compliment.
Okay.
We don't become a factory. We don't become like a,
Yeah.
let's do three more horror comedies would be the
just
easiest
because
thing to do.
just because Stree did well, now let's do four more like
Imagine the execution or of our willpower to say no to signing up like a major deal that said let's produce five horror comedies.
that. Right.
Didn't want to do it. There is absolutely no excitement in it. So
But
uh,
who were offered it?
no, I'm saying everybody. Like there was an offer. I'm saying in general there are offers that hey, let's make a whole list of horror comedies out
Right.
of these kind of different kind of horror comedies and stuff. But then we'll be doing that. It'll become that.
Right.
We
Yeah. I
would
mean, yeah.
never.
It's
What do you say?
yeah. That's what. Even Family Man is literally the only time we've even ventured into sequel territory, because getting in, we kind of knew that in the series format you'll have a second season, right? But otherwise, we've we've always tried to do something else with each.
Yeah, but even with this, I mean, there's a season 3 that seems to have been written in already with the virus. Is that happening?
Sorry.
Is that happening?
Season 3.
The season 3 with the virus written in?
We just know where we would like to take the story.
Ah,
When
okay,
we write even season one, we know where season two was gonna go.
okay,
We need to be aware as to where it will go if it happens.
right.
So season three is decision has to be made and all that stuff. That has its own course. But we need to know if three is happening, where it needs to, where we'd like to go, or
Okay.
as filmmakers.
I need to ask both of you, because there's this question of nationalism and patriotism. It's right now very top of the mind for Bollywood, and there's an element of jingoism there, but which I don't see in The Family Man, which is so refreshing. Mera Bharat is Mahan, but you don't have to go around saluting the flag all the time. How do you keep that balance in you, and what's your idea of nationalism? Because national security is possibly the most difficult terrain to occupy.
Yeah, I get true. I mean, I guess, I mean, this is a very tough question. And honestly, just because we made Family Man, I don't think our answer is better than, say, anybody else's answer. There could be people who watch the show and come up with a better explanation of this, I'm sure. I would say, like, a true patriot is somebody who wants the nation to do well and do good for the country and protect the country. But at the same time, it doesn't mean that you always have to be, always have to cover up all the error. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's okay to know what's wrong. It's okay to admit what's wrong or know what's wrong and work to make it better than just ignore the fact that something is wrong. Perhaps that's where a basic
Shrikant Tiwari
root of
Shrikant Tiwari is as patriotic as one can get.
Yeah.
In terms of it.
Yeah.
And balancing work and life, and even though the work is being treated like a government job in a way, like like 9 to 5, like whatever office job, he's unwavering in trying to protect the country in terms of doing his job. It's unwavering. That is one thing that there is a lot of integrity in the way he approaches the job. In fact, most of the all the task members are like that in that sense. So So I think, yeah, these are the people who are out there, the thankless people, the nameless people that protect. This could be a fiction organization, but it represents people like that, people who still have to balance their lives and the families and all that. So it is in a way owed to all these nameless, thankless people who are fighting for us.
Hmm.
So it's really about that. It's really about coming down to the hence. That's why he's so relatable in that sense. He's like us, balancing two things in life, except he's fighting for the country.
But what I like is that the other man's patriot is also a patriot for you. He's not necessarily evil. The ISI man is a patriot too for Pakistan. You know, he's a Pakistani nationalist. There's nothing wrong in that.
See, if you have the time to look at from everybody's point of view, there's always a story to tell. There's
Yeah,
always something to say. So for us, see, we have to go back to being storytellers first,
right,
filmmakers, where what is our number one objective is to get the characters, as fleshed out characters as possible, as well-rounded characters as possible. So how do you do that? Is to get into that person's life and see whatever his life is about, or whatever his objectives are about, or whatever his motives are about, irrespective of judging them.
right,
So the idea is to just focus on creating, even if it's a 2-minute character. Let's spend time on getting that person right to that character,
right,
and everything else is now incidental at the end of it. Really, it's just us saying that let me create a great character, not great characters, let me just do justice to each character,
right,
irrespective of judging who they are.
right. DK, can we talk about Raji's idea of being a true nationalist? Let's talk a little about that, and quickly about Samantha's amazing portrayal.
So again, basically, right, it comes to the core of portraying that character, right? Without we also tend to, there is also a scene in the show where it kind of verbalizes a thought that kind of runs through the show, where it says, who is a terrorist, who is a
Right,
freedom fighter, depends on whose point of view it is.
right,
But for us, this again, like we said, we wanted to create this character who has strong motivation
right,
and a very strong, sense of purpose. And what's amazing is how Samantha poured life into this character, right? She made this character her own. She,
She's
I mean,
coming from a,
yeah,
she's like I was telling earlier that she's never even never even slapped on screen is what I heard. Like in terms of physicalness,
yeah,
or even held a gun before. So to transform from roles that to this requires a lot of guts and commitment and confidence to do it.
and
So
conviction in the
yeah,
character's motivation.
and yeah, just do justice to the character
Yeah,
at the end of it.
yeah.
yes.
So, did you audition her? She approached you? How did it happen?
We were looking for people, and
Yeah.
Mukesh was suggesting bunch of names, and we were thinking and evaluating before we approached them. And I think she was the first one we approached,
Right,
or then we had a nice long chat. And I was like, I was trying to dissuade her, don't do it, because
right,
not don't do it, dissuading her, saying that, but can you do the action? But it's going to take a lot of
Yeah, no, no,
guts.
yeah, no. Dissuade is not the word. I think more like, are you? It's yeah. I think it's more like,
Devil's advocate.
yeah,
yeah, play the devil's advocate. That's the right thing. That's the right thing. And yeah, and see, yeah, for her to be convinced to play this role and wanting to do what it takes and give her all and get into training and all that stuff that she needed to do to get into the role, that is very important, right? It's not, and she is that kind of an actor as well. She's a very passionate actor. I think she goes and gives her everything to whatever role she plays. I've only seen, uh, like the last few films I've seen her in Super Deluxe, and I've seen in a couple of other films, and she's done a great job. But this is new territory even for her, and she also knows that, and she was really, really up for this challenge.
right.
What more can you ask, right? A talented actor who wants to take on the challenges. That's all we can ask for as filmmakers.
You can ask for Manoj Bajpayee, but you already have him.
Same thing for him too. Manoj Bajpayee took us all of 20 minutes to convince him to do the role in the first season.
Right.
Yeah,
It's
so
20 minutes. What was the thing that caught his attention?
I think the whole concept of it is like, okay, he's a common man, but he's also an intelligence agent. He has to deal with his family and he's deal with his country, and he's like, oh my god, this is exactly the role I was waiting for all my life, and that's it.
Yeah, but it
And
really has it has made him iconic all over again. I mean, there's Satya and then there's this, right? There's
yeah,
nothing.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think he also sensed it. The moment he heard the character, he says, "This. I mean, if there is a character tailor made for me, it has to be this." I think.
so Raj and VK, when you look at your careers now in full-time Bollywood, in the heart of the industry, so much is changing. So much is being said about how stars are being made, what stories are being told. What is it that excites you, and what is it that disappoints you?
What's the question again?
There's so much that's changing currently in Bollywood. There's a lot of new things, but there are lots of old things that are also, old ideas that are sort of just being destroyed. The idea of stardom, will it ever come back when theaters come back? How will stars be defined? Lots is changing. So when you look at Bollywood right now, what is it that excites you, and what is it that disappoints you?
I mean, there's a new. And I've been saying this for the last 10 years, 15 years. I think the direction in which Bollywood has been heading in terms of new content, it's only getting better with every passing year. I think, like, I mean, compared to 95, 2005 films were better, and compared to 2005 and 2015, they were better. I would say, or at least a wide variety of films were being
Yeah.
made, and so it's heading in that direction. And now with all these OTT platforms coming into India and a lot of people consuming all this content on OTT, I think it's only exposing all these viewers to a lot wider range of cinema. So, and that's only gonna have an impact on filmmakers to make films that get, that match up to these newer expectations. So, I mean, I think this is a great time. This is really a golden era for filmmakers, if there ever was one. Right, like right now. I mean, minus the pandemic, like right now was the golden era
I was
for
wondering if
filmmakers.
Flavors would release now. How do you think it would do? It would do quite well.
Which one? Yeah.
If Flavors were to release now.
Oh,
I mean, yeah.
What do you
Flavors,
think?
I don't know.
yeah, I'm sure it will. I'm sure. I think it'll do that.
At least we would have an OTT platform for it
Yeah.
to play on, and we have a lot more multiplexes. Please do remember it's also an English language
Right.
spoken film, so it would still be limited. But yes, it probably has a lot more scope to even be shown to audiences now than back when it came out, when we did in 2004. There was hardly the first multiplex in Bombay was opening right then. I
Right.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Raj, what is it that excites you currently? And is there anything that disappoints you? You hear so much about the insider-outsider debate. You guys are outsiders. You've come from, let's say Detroit in Texas and landed in Bombay. Have you ever faced anything like a wall that says, no, you can't do what you want to hear?
See, I hear stories,
Yeah.
but for us, we've always been some sort of an independent filmmaker-ish thing, kind of thing that we just put our heads down and worked with amongst ourselves and just created something. Only when it comes out, people are surprised. Oh, there's a film like that. So it's always been like coming from the left field, where you don't see it coming in. We just been we realized it long back that come on, you're not from the industry. We don't know anybody here. Look at the thousands of people that are trying to get a break here, and it's not easy to break in. There are so many other people. They already know. They're already working. They're already working with other directors, producers, actors who have a foot in.
Yeah.
Who will probably get it sooner, and there is nothing wrong with it. That's how the system works, or anything for that matter. You're
Right.
just coming from outside. So what we realize, the only thing we can do is to create our own, just create our own somehow, and not depend on anybody. Because if they help, great. If you can't, if they don't know you, they don't know who you are. People used to ask, how can you make a film? We don't even know Hindi. Who are you? Who did you work with? Which film school did you go? Which director you worked with? So there is no way to answer these, and they're all right questions to be asked. So we thought we should just make our own.
Right.
And if it works, great. Then they'll, then everybody will understand what we're trying to do. And so, of course, that took us 3 films to do that, not just one film. So, I think that's the way I see it. I have no grudge. I have no problems. That's the way system is in any field for that matter. You don't have a foot in. How do you do a foot in? Be innovative, create yourself, and somehow get in. Was our mantra.
Hmm.
And for that matter, if I make the same film, and I don't know if we have to do something create out of the box also to attract attention, because as an independent film initially you have to be fresh and have a unique voice to be heard and taken notice of. So that was our focus mainly.
Hmm.
Than thinking, I wish somebody gave me a chance and stuff, because what to do, that's how it is.
Right.
Ma'am, can we wrap up?
Absolutely. The last question for both of you really is, how do you work together? Who's the writer? Who's the ideator? Or do both of you sort of have, how exactly does it work?
There is no, there is no fixed roles anymore, right? It's not like one person does this, other person does that. I think we both do everything the other person does in a way, but I think both of us together, the process just gets better.
Hmm.
Like if I have an idea, and by the time we discuss it, it becomes a better idea. From where it started. So it's not necessarily like, okay, I'm going to be doing this part of it, you're going to be doing that part of it. A lot of times it's just impromptu. Like even on set, sometimes we just impromptu divide up the work, saying, okay, you go do this thing today, I'm going to go do that thing. So, let's catch up in an hour and we're ready to shoot.
Okay.
So,
okay. But how does it work? Who's behind the monitor?
both of us.
Both of you. Okay.
And the script supervisor and the first AD and a bunch of other people. So, yeah. So
quite a crowd.
It's truly collaborative, right? Yeah, filmmaking is a collaborative art for that matter. I mean, it could be, it is definitely the director's vision, yes, but it is still a collaborative art. I mean, nobody can claim no one person can claim to make a film. You'll need the entire team to go with you on that vision, right? Your actors need to buy into that vision and perform that character. Your writers, your DOP, the person who's shooting the film, has to, act to that vision. And it's not necessarily always your vision. I mean, you have a vague idea of a vision, and it takes form when the actor comes in, and it takes better form when the technicians come in, and that's how the whole film is made. It's always a collaborative process.
Right. And both of you write together. Do you sit beside each other or remotely? How does it work? How do you write?
Basically, okay, if you want to get a nitty-gritties of it, what we do is we ideate a lot, and we've been ideating for a decade. So most of these ideas were rooted in maybe in the past, and they've been marinating and they've changed, morphed, shaped, mutated over time. So it'll be like the ideas have been there for a while, and let's say one day I go up to DK, call him up middle of the night and say, what if we do this? And he'd be like, so, and then he's the same voice. He'll be like, can we talk in the morning? Or I think that's a shit idea. Or he'll say like, or the time it gets going is when he says, I think that'll be so much fun if we do this. So he'll add another angle to it. And then, oh my God, yes. So now we have an exciting story going, saying, oh, we have something nice. And after that, it's like taking turns where we are, we first brainstorm a lot and then come up with lots of ideas and then come up with a approximate structure. We use up walls and put up all kinds of notes and stuff and creating it. And it takes a while.
Yeah.
And then sometimes it goes to, it's bad, or it doesn't get stuck. So you kind of leave it aside, jump to another story.
Right.
So, and then, you keep going and suddenly you have a great idea that kind of breaks a soul that was a year ago.
Right.
Pull it back and, so it's a,
Since
we write
literally the last step would be, and we do tend to write our screenplays also, right? I mean, now of course we're collaborating with other writers as well, but even until like before Family Men, we're writing our own screenplay as well. And literally the last step would be like, okay, now that we have the entire story broken down, the structure, we're all clear about the character, why don't you write this sequence of scenes and I'll write this sequence of scenes, and then let's swap notes.
Okay, so that's how.
And so by the time the screenplay is finished, both of us have done one pass at it, and
Right.
we have a bound script to give.
And DK, you appear in the
Sorry,
films
we
and
really
Raj
have to
doesn't
wrap.
appear.
Sorry.
This is the last one. Raj, do
Right.
you appear in the films as well? DK, I know appears.
I,
He
I
has,
used to-
and unfortunately, in the last couple of films, his role got cut out.
Oh, really?
no, it's kidding, it's kidding. I used to do earlier, like when we did short films, we didn't have anybody else. So it used to be two-man army, and so one of us had to act. So I used to do it then. Then I realized I was pretty horrible, so I stopped doing it. And yeah, every time people push me, whenever a role falls through or something is there,
Right.
and I see my name written on the casting board. If I walk in one day, this role will be by Raj sir. I'll be like, what? Who said it? I'm not doing it. So I try not to.
Okay.
But DK seems to be a better actor.
Yeah.
He's getting, he's doing a lot of
But again,
roles.
a lot of it is serendipitous. The role I'm doing in Family Man, I was not the first choice to be playing that role.
Okay.
It was somebody else, and the actor fell through.
Okay.
So I had to save the day.
Was it your daughter as well?
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
well done.
Jenny is my daughter, actually. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, both of you. It's such a pleasure. May you continue to give us so much joy. Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you so much.